Right, so today I'm going to take another look at an influential publication, which I would pore over and study back in the day, and this is the very short-lived magazine Fantasy Modeling. Um, and I have no memory. I know this is 1980, um, and I know that it was for sale over here in the UK because it's got a £1.50 price just here. But I don't remember buying this. I've got a feeling it was down in the local newsagents. I have no memory of reading this on the train back from London once I'd been in up to Forbidden Planet or Dark They Were and Golden Eyed or wherever. So I've got a feeling it's oh, move Batman out of the way. Um, I've got a feeling I bought it in my local shop, my local newsagent. So, yeah, I thought I'd show you it if you haven't encountered this before. And what I've done is I've got the 5 issues. At least I think there was only 5 issues, um, but I put them in order of the impact that they had on me. All right, and I thought I'd go through it page by page briefly, just to give you an idea of what this magazine was and uh, why I thought it was so noteworthy. So this is the first one, Starlab Miniature. Um, Willie Whitten is the guy who made that fantastic craft. Very Star Trek II regular space station. Um, was also a sculptor as well. But what I liked about the making of spacecrafts is when not only did you have the text, you had a load of illustrations to show you just how um, it was made. So that's jolly good. Um, a thing on sculpting. I tried sculpting. I wasn't very good. Um, so that was the end of that. Talking about sculpting, Martin Bauer here, um, a very well regarded model maker, but he was also a sculptor. And these are some of the uh, the females that he sculpted for his. Um, he had an idea of Star Garden and a couple of other film projects that he wanted to get off the ground. Um, and this is Martin going through the process of creating them. Of course, 1980, Empire Strikes Back. So I'm going to lap that up. And again, with the snow speeder and how to adopt or adapt that outrageously elongated guy that you got with it. All right. As I say, I try and keep this brief. There's an awful lot on white metal miniatures. All right. And role playing games. And every issue had something on real life rocketry, which I really wasn't interested in. I don't think I've ever read any of the articles. Um, Military show uh, submissions, sorry, modeling show submissions. Always good to see what other people have done. Um, and then, yeah, more miniatures, as I say. Oh, yeah, and at the back, this was key to me, how you can take things like, cotton bobbins, turn them into engines, and how to get selected things, cut them up, and then put them together, right? That was of great interest to me. So that was the fifth one. This is the winter issue, which I think is issue 3. Nice Conan cover. Falling apart now, I'm afraid, because I used to read them and reread them. Yeah, the Reverend Spencer Van Gulik and his amazing dioramas. The only problem with this magazine is the photography or the printing was very dark. It's hard to make out, and a lot of them scream to be in colour, and they're only in black and white. But yeah, I mean here you could barely see the beastie there, and this thing is that you daddy. There is a creature in there, but that's such a dark photo, so that was a bit of a disappointment. All right, here we go. History of plastic monster hobby kits with, of course, Aurora, but like monogram as well. All right, and the AMT Gigantic series, which were a lot of fun. And I remember having this one. This is the Marx One Piece figures, and I remember they came in a horrible waxy plastic that the glue just would not stick to. I had the Wolfman. I would like to have had the old Phantom. Oh yeah, and then the Zap Action kits. There should be an article done just on the Zap Action kits alone. I thought they were great fun. Conan, not very Conan looking, kind of better looking Conan. That's more like it. All right. Fleets, more role playing games. Yep. Used to read and reread this article a lot. Scratch built Star Wars figures and getting the old well, it's Airfix for us, Airfix X-Wing kit and converting it and making a Dagobah bog to put it in. This especially was a revelation to me, how to make this gun turret from Hoth, because what the guy was using was styrofoam cups, which had never occurred to me. And what hadn't occurred to me at all is these are the Airfix multi-pose figures where you've got a body, heads, arms, legs, and you could stick them on in any pose you liked. But what the guy was doing was then getting milliput and adding milliput to them to turn them into Hoth soldiers. And I especially remember trying to do this and especially getting covered in that horrible sticky grey, the regular brand of milliput, and not realizing that you have to wet your tools down and wet your fingers down and just making an awful cock up. Again, fabulous dioramas. And again, always nice to see an illustration showing you just how that was achieved for the photo. All right. I think we're coming near the end of this one. Is there a last thing at the back? Oh, I've lost the back cover, so don't know. Right, so this is the premiere issue. All right. And straight out of the gate, you've got good old Boris having a look at modeling versions of the paintings, his famous paintings, when there were like white metal versions created of them. And then there's some examples of the painted up ones. All right. Again, it had never occurred to me until it might be this article um, that I read that you could use things like polystyrene packing. This guy came from a guy's vacuum cleaner, um, and repaint it, and you've got scenery. I don't think that had ever occurred to me that you can, rescue polystyrene and create these fabulous scenes. And again, here's the finished photo, and here's behind the scenes of how it was achieved. Always great fun. Military history models. It was a proper eclectic mix in this magazine. Here we go. Hip bashing spaceships. This is my kind of thing. So I would just endlessly read this. Again, I wish the photos had been in color. I mean, look at that, and look at that one especially. All right, that's Rick Overton, and we're going to encounter Rick Overton again later. All right, I think there's something at the back here. Look at that, a Close Encounters Mothership paperweight. Oh, I wouldn't mind one of them now. Mind having one of them now. Sorry, it's been a long day. No, there's nothing at the back. I think it's in the next couple. So this is issue 3. All right, what do we have in issue 3? Yeah, Dave Cockrum. If you're a long time reader of the X-Men, you know that he, with Chris Claremont, was responsible for bringing back the new X-Men. Well, not only is he a fabulous artist, but he's a fantastic model maker. And this one, I so wanted to make or emulate. Could never get the color reds right, I think that is the praying mantis from the AMT Gigantics kit there. All right. There he is. There he is when he was doing drawings for proposed relaunch of the Aurora kits. And here he is. I think that's the old Tarzan figure, which he had converted into the Angel from X-Men. Military models, wasn't too keen on them at this point. Everything was science fiction for me. Rocketry, wasn't interested. Conan Reconsidered. All right. More white metal miniature work. And again, I know there's something at the back here, and that's what I'm aiming for. scratch building spaceship miniatures for film. Very good, very good. Miniature, very miniature spacecraft. Come on, where are you? Yeah, this was cool. The idea of getting a toy and converting it and repainted it, and I've done it many a time since I read this. Yeah. Again, I wish that was a colour photo. That's a before and after of repurposing the toy land speeder kit. There we are. Look, another one of these things about how to take household objects and cut them up and not only tell you how to do it, but show you how it can look once it's done. Yeah. Um, Great influence on me. And then talking about great influence, right at the end, this is it, issue number 5. I did this very thing. Got the 2001 um, Airfix kit, the Orion Airfix kit. That's the Hawk from Space 99. I stuck on an eagle beak on the end of it, and it looked bloody stupid, but I was taking inspiration from this magazine, so I blame it. Britans, I remember the Britans figures, the space figures produced in the very early 80s. I remember buying lots of these and painting them up. But here we go. This is it. Rick Overton then. What a genius he was. I think he passed a few years ago, but and it was a real thrill, if I'm right, that he's passed. But back then, a few years ago, before that, he was on some, fancy modelling pages, and to actually engage with him and have him comment on things I made was such a thrill, because he was very important to me. This article was very important. How you can get 2 toy periscopes and stick a ping pong ball on the end of each one, and you've got the makings of a Victorian steampunk contraption. Again, here, and here and here and here. Great. More diorama work, which I found very inspiring, because in about 1980, Games Workshop, back when they were Citadel Miniatures, they were starting to produce their white metal miniatures, so I was buying up and painting a lot of them. Yeah, kits that never were, like the Batcopter. All these proposed, these are Dave Cockrum sketches as well, sketches for characters. It would have been so nice for Aurora to have produced these, especially the Martian War Machine. And Ming the Merciless would have been brilliant. So we'll move on. I can't remember if there's anything at the end. I think there's one more article in here. I'm sure it wasn't just Rick that was my attraction. Yeah, this I found a bit curious. Photographing your fantasy spacecraft models. Fine, it's showing you, and that is a fantastic kit if you want parts, that sub kit and household parts. But this photo always I found rather odd. It's a Walker, and I think these are air freshener, the insides of air fresheners for the legs. And I remember studying this and thinking, how do the legs walk? How does that work? A very basic conversion of a starfighter. Take the engines off the back and cap them with things. But all very interesting. More rocketry, didn't find interesting. Super detailing spacecraft. Again, a lot of text, but photos weren't big enough. This is one of the reasons that inspired me to approach Martin Bower about doing his Martin Bower magazine. Was you would get articles like this, and it would go into some things, but the photos were too small, and there was detail, but there wasn't enough detail. I wanted more, Right, I think we're nearly at the end. Have we got anything at the very end? Let's have a look. Yeah, I thought there was one more. Things like using those little plastic containers of milk, disposable ones, sticking them together, repurposing them. Do you remember when you had flash cubes, repurposing them? And this one particularly, I found really interesting. The plastic lids off of coffee cups could be turned into an airlock. You get a felt tip pen, you cut it up, and you've got piping. That was hugely inspirational. The whole magazine title was hugely inspirational. and came along. Only lasted what, a year, something like that. But a fantastic run of 5 issues. If you've never read them before, um, a lot of the techniques now are rather outdated and that, but the actual heart of it is true. So yeah, and I recommend seeking them out. I don't know how much they go for on eBay or wherever, but if you should come across them, yeah, go for it.